Good afternoon and welcome to my shop. Today I have this Craftsman. It's a 2-cycle 46cc chainsaw, and it's in a 20-inch blade. I have the same chainsaw that is a 16-inch and it's 42cc, and I've had it for a few years and I really have enjoyed that chainsaw. It's been a good running chainsaw, always cranks up very quickly, which is important to me. There's nothing that I feel worse than when it's time to go do a job, and whether it be your lawnmower, your chainsaw, or whatever, and you just can't crank it up and you can't do the work that you need to do, and you spend more time working on the tool than you actually use it for your work. So it's important to me that when I purchase something, I like that it is easy to crank up and easy to use, so that I can go and do the jobs that I have and get on with my day after I've got my work done. But anyway, I had this one sitting around in the garage. I've had it a couple months now in the box. I actually purchased it a couple of months ago because here in Florida we have hurricanes regularly. So a couple months ago we knew that we were having a couple hurricanes headed our way. So I went down to the local store and picked up this chainsaw as a backup, as a spare. And I went ahead and got it in a 20-inch rather than the 16-inch because I would like to have something a little bit larger, you know, a little bit bigger chainsaw. The 16-inch does plenty. It's everything you really need for around the house kind of work. But the 20-inch would be a little bit more useful for some bigger jobs. We have large oak trees around this area, so the 20-inch blade would just do a little bit more work for me. Anyway, it was nice to be able to have the option to have both of them. Anyway, this is still in the box. I'm going to be unboxing it so that we can take a look at what's in the box when you get it from the store. It looks like the model is a S205. It says it has a 2-year limited warranty. I'm not sure what exactly is involved in that 2-year limited warranty, but like I say, I have a 16-inch, exactly the same chainsaw, except 16-inch and 42cc, and I haven't had any issues with it. There's no reason that I would say that you would need a 2-year warranty, but if that's the case, maybe there's something you know, that gives a little more peace of mind with that warranty. I actually also use a synthetic gasoline. You've probably seen these products sitting on the shelf at your local hardware store, and instead of using the ethanol gasoline that's got the ethanol additive to it, which we know clogs up our carburetors and gives us a lot of engine trouble with our gasoline engines, I've been using the synthetic gasoline, and it comes in pre-mix. You can get it in different types of pre-mix, in a 40-to-1 or a 50-to-1, but I usually just grab the 50-to-1 and I run it in pretty much everything. And when I put my equipment away for the winter, because here during the winter months we don't really need to do much yard work with our weed eaters and our chainsaws and that type of thing. So once it's time to put our equipment away for the winter, then I just clean it up and put the stuff away, and when it comes springtime, late spring, and it's time to start getting back out in the yard and doing some more yard work again, I always find that my 2-stroke equipment is very easy to start back up. I don't have any trouble with it at all. And so the little added expense that there might be by running that synthetic product versus just your regular 2-cycle oil with ethanol gas, I feel that it has saved me in the long run, both with the hassle of doing rebuilds on the carburetor, and also it has saved me with having to, a lot of times you find you can't get it running and you have to throw your piece of equipment away, and you've spent good money on these chainsaws and weed eaters. So I've gone with the synthetic gas, and the little bit extra that it costs to run it, I don't find, I feel it's exorbitant. So not something that I really fret over. Anyway, let's take a look as we unbox this Craftsman 2-cycle 46cc 20-inch chainsaw, and let's see exactly what we have in the box. I'm gonna go ahead and open this box carefully to make sure there's no paperwork or anything that might be in the way. Just carefully cut it open here. Try not to get too much into y'all's view of it. So top of the box, I cut it open, and I'm going to open these flaps here. As I open the flaps and I look inside, give y'all a look inside here. So it's packaged up really nice. Looks like we got some cardboard here to keep it from bouncing around, and there's a warning label on here. Gives us a few instructions. It's talks about the gas, well, like we were earlier, the gas and the oil additive, and talks about your adding chain oil to it, and then it gives you instructions on how to disengage this bar. This is a brake for your bar so that you can engage and disengage the clutch or the brake on your bar. So anyway, as I reach in here, looks like first thing that I grab out of here, it says 2cycle engine oil, full synthetic. Now this is a full synthetic oil that you're going to add to your gas. Earlier when I was talking about the synthetic fuel, I was talking about the pre-mixed stuff that you get in the store, but here is to get you started if you wanted to go this way, is a 2cycle engine oil, full synthetic, and it gives you instructions here, mixed with 1 gallon of gas. I'm sure it goes into more in-depth instructions back here to help you to get that going, so you can go ahead and run your chainsaw right here out of the box. Here is a set of instructions. Looks like we got a tool, typical tool that comes with them. It's got a flathead screwdriver, which helps you with the adjusting of your chain. It's got a 2-way wrench on it for loosening that chain bar. This one here, I'm pretty sure is the side that it loosens your chain bar. And then this one here is for your spark plug. So you have a spark plug wrench, you got a chain bar to loosen it, the nuts on the chain bar, and then this, typically you would use it you put it in the bar and it has an adjustment. We'll look at that in just a second. But here's your Craftsman. This Craftsman operator's manual of operation, and then it says 2-cycle gas chainsaw, and it appears to me that we must have this in a couple different languages. Let me open it up real quick and we'll take a look. I'll give you another view of that tool. So this little tool is inside there. It's got this fits the nuts on the side of that chainsaw bar, and then this is, I'm sure, your spark plug end right here, and then this is your screwdriver, and it'll go into the chain bar and loosen or tighten that chain on that. All of that will be described here in the instructions, I'm sure. I'll just give you a quick look at the instruction. Got instruction manuals there. Kind of goes over, you know, the usage of the chainsaw, and we won't get into that in this video. There's a lot of safety stuff that you're going to want to review before you tackle any projects with this, especially if you've never run a chainsaw before. It's very important. You got your warning labels here. Looks like we got our warning labels and probably some warranty stuff, I would imagine. What we got here? Okay, so you have instructions here on how you'll get your chainsaw ready to start and how you'll start your chainsaw. Front and back there, so you'll have full instructions on how to start your chainsaw. And then looks like here must be these are some instructions on your warranty and on emissions control and stuff like that. So you'll want to read just your legal stuff, just your typical legal stuff that comes in there. So that's a few of the papers, your instruction manual. It's got a 1-888 number on the back that you can call to ask any questions or whatever, a customer service and really good. I mean, it's Craftsman. We all have grown up with Craftsman. We're familiar with that brand, and they continue to make a great product. Very happy with the products I've purchased from Craftsman, and I'm very, very happy with the other chainsaw. So I'm gonna put this right back in here so that we have it for later. So that's the instruction manual there. What else do we have in here? Okay, so this little cardboard will slide right up out of there. Like I said, we have another piece of cardboard that's right up here in the front. And as I look down in there, let's see, we should be able to just lift this chainsaw, maybe lift this chainsaw straight out of here. I don't really want to tear the box because my intention wasn't to use the chainsaw. I was only going to take it out for you guys to view it, but let me see. I'll go ahead and open the box up. Let's cut this box right now. I guess that's a good thing. Keeps people from tampering with your chainsaw before you pick it up from the store. But we'll just open that box like that. Up here. Set it down here on the counter. Okay. Put this so that you can kind of see the description. But anyway, here's that 3 steps on the chainsaw that we discussed earlier. Step 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to take this off of here. And then it's got a plastic. This plastic here would come off also. But basically, so this is the chainsaw. Right here is where you add the fuel. Add the fuel there, and right up here in the front, this is chain bar lube. This is not this. This is for your 2-stroke. This is for your 2-stroke engine oil. And that would be pre-mixed, and it would be added here according to the instructions. But what goes here is another oil that it doesn't appear that we got any in the box. But when you pick this chainsaw up, you're going to want to pick up a bottle of chain bar oil. This will just open like this. You pour your chain bar oil into here and fill it just almost to the top. You don't want to put too much in there. It's got a little cord right here that helps retain this so you don't drop it down in the dirt. Be careful not to drop this down in the dirt if it ever were to come loose. But you just fill your chain bar oil up here. Not gasoline, but chain bar oil. And you want to follow your instructions. And then over on this side would be your premix, your 2-cycle premix. You would open this up, and again, it has a cord to keep that from falling on the ground. You don't want to get dirt on this. You want to keep this clean because you don't want trash to get down in this. So then you would fill this up almost full with pre-mixed gas, and then put this cap back on and put them on firmly, snugly, but don't over tighten them because you have a hard time getting that back off. If pressure from the gasoline builds up in here, it may be very difficult to get this back off. If that does happen, you can, unfortunately, I don't like to advise it this way, but you could put a pair of pliers on here gently and unscrew it. But the best way to avoid that is don't over tighten this. You're not trying to muscle this down on there. You're just snugly putting that cap back on, because if you see, there's a nice O-ring right here that'll make the seal, and there's no need for that to be over tightened. You just snug it up good, and that's about all you need. Let me see. Not sure, I don't think that's a window. I thought that was a window to see your fuel level, but I don't believe it is. Right here is your power, your on and off. So there would be off, and there's a sticker here that lets you know that, or the 0 lets you know that, and the 1 tells you that it's run or on, just like most things we're used to. That's a common switch we're used to. So off and on, and that little sticker tells you. But this right here, this is how you will, let me see if I can get this a little better into the camera. Right here is where you will prime the carburetor. So typically it says, like this one right here, it says times 10. Sometimes it'll say times 3, times 7, times whatever. This one says times 10. Just give it several good pumps. And when you give this thing several good pumps, you'll see that ball fill up with gasoline. When that ball fills up with gasoline, you'll go a couple more pumps more than that. You're wanting to get that gasoline into the carburetor. And then this is your choke. And the instructions will explain how you do this, but you basically pull that choke out. And once you pull that choke out, you'll do your process with pulling the cord and firing it up. There's some nice instructions here across the top. In case you're not familiar with the process, there's a quick reminder, a little, let's call it a cheat sheet right here across the top where you can take a look at the procedure, and it'll help you when you're out in the field. You don't have the instructions here to help you. You're out in the field and you say, why in the world can I not get my chainsaw to run? Maybe you go through this procedure real quick, and maybe there's something you have forgotten to turn on or adjust the right way. So that's really nice. Warning label across the top here. Let's, right here, I believe is where we're going to find our oil filter. I'm sorry, excuse me, our air filter, oil filter. This is your air filter. So you just take this off, it unscrews. Quite a long bolt on there, I guess. Let's see what's under there. Yep, spark plug and your air filter are both underneath of here. That's convenient. Let's see. Well, I don't want to pull it off, but anyway, your spark plug would be underneath here. And remember, we were talking about your spark plug wrench. That would be where you would change your spark plug if you ever needed to, and clean out your air filter periodically. And that's protected really nice underneath this cover right here. And then to put it back on, you just line the screw back up. Like that. Well, sometimes you gotta just get down there and get your eyes on it, and make sure you're not cross-threading that. Because once you have it on there, just kind of make sure it screws down gently, because if you get that cross-threaded and you try to continue with it, we all have been in that situation before, and we end up with more problems than we wish that we had if we had just done it right to begin with. So earlier I was talking about this wrench and how it fits on here to loosen your bar. This is your bar is underneath here. Take a look at it. So there's your 20-inch bar, and if you notice, there's a little gap right there. There's also inside here a little gap in that bar. Well, what you would do, this is about where you want your chain tension to be. You don't want it to be too loose, and you don't want it to be too tight. You want it to be just kind of snug, where you can just kind of pull on it like that, and it just is snug. You don't want it too tight, and you don't want it too loose. But as you use this machine, this blade will begin to loosen up. As it heats up, as it begins to wear on this bar, as it begins to stretch, because it's a chain, it will begin to loosen up, and this will get very sloppy, and you'll hear it. It'll really make a real sloppy sound, and it'll jump off this bar if you're not careful and you don't keep an eye on it. But what you'll do, and the instructions will give you more detailed instructions on it, but just real quickly, what you would do is you would loosen these two nuts, not take them off, just loosen them up. And then that flathead we were talking about here, you would put it into this slot, and as you go one way or the other, it will make this bar increase in length or come back, which will in turn tighten or loosen this chain. So as you're using the unit, you're going to want to make sure that you keep an eye, listen to it, and you'll hear it and you'll see it. It'll start to sag down here. And when it comes time to tighten this up, you're going to want to shut this unit down, and you may want to let it cool down a little bit before you do this. Let it cool down a little bit, and then you're going to just back these off just enough that it just gives you just enough play in here that you can tighten this or loosen this screw to make this bar extend. It will extend out and it will take up the slack, but you still only want it snug. You want it snug, not too tight. Don't go too tight on it. Don't think that you're going to get more time by going tighter, because it will bind and it'll really make it hard. You won't get the RPMs that you want to get out here. You need a good RPM running in order to cut through the job that you're working on. Anyway, something else while we got it over on this side, this is the brake we were talking about. You push it forward like that, and this chain will break. So it's not spinning. It'll just be running on the clutch inside of here, and this blade won't be spinning out here where you could accidentally catch yourself on the leg, catch somebody else on the leg, or just whatever, get entangled in this as you're walking from one spot to another and you have your unit is idling. You'll want to put this brake on here. Now when you go to use it, you'll pull this back and you'll hear the brake disengage. And you see now this can move. This is able to move, and the clutch inside the engine will allow this blade to freely spin, and you can do your cutting. But when you're walking from one place to the other, you're gonna wanna put that brake on, and that'll prevent you from getting involved in this if it were to hit you in the leg. You don't want this thing to be sitting here spinning while you're walking around. You don't want to accidentally hit the gas and it be able to spin and catch your leg. Within the brake position, pretty much if you hit the gas, it'll keep it from spinning. So let's put this, because this blade is very sharp right now, and it should remain sharp to do a good job, but make sure you put this back on it. It has an arrow that shows the up and down, so you just take it just like this and just put it back over top of it. And that'll help you when you're traveling. That'll help you when you store it in your garage, that you don't inadvertently touch that blade and cut yourself on it. Anyway, down here is tells you what size bar and what size chain. In case you ever want to replace that bar and chain, you can go right down to the store that you purchased this from, or you could go online, I'm sure, and you can order yourself a new bar and chain if for some reason something ever happened to that. They do wear out. Over time, they do wear out. That's just normal wear and tear. Let's look at the throttle. So this has a palm safety here, and this has to be engaged in order for the throttle to be pulled. See, right now I can't pull that throttle. But if I engage this palm right here, then the trigger can be engaged. You see that? I can't pull the trigger unless this palm part is engaged and I pull the trigger. So then naturally what I would do is it's hard to show you at this angle, but if I were grabbing hold of it, my palm would palm that top, and then my trigger would be able to be pulled. And so that's just the added safety to make sure while you're walking around that you don't accidentally catch that on something, on your pant leg or something, and pull that throttle wide open. But anyway, all in all, this is a great machine. I haven't run this one yet, but I'm excited to run it soon. Springtime's going to be here soon, and I'll be able to get out in the yard and do some work with it. At that point, I'll probably do you another video. We'll go over starting it and everything, and we'll get out there in the yard and we'll see what kind of work that it can do. But like I said, I have the 16-inch version of this, And for several years, I've been very thrilled. I have been very pleased with that machine. Every year when it comes time to go do some yard work, and you can imagine down here in Florida with hurricanes, we do a lot of hurricane cleanup with them. So even the 16-inch one is a very good machine that has done a very good job. I'm very happy with it. Through my life, I've had a lot of chainsaws, lots and lots of chainsaws. For the price, these chainsaws really hold up and really do a good job. Unless you're a professional arbor, unless you do, you have a tree trimming business, you have a professional business, this isn't, you wouldn't need anything much more than this. I know that there's other brands out there that I really like them. They're high quality chainsaws. If you're looking for a very high-end chainsaw, but typically they cater to the professional. So those chainsaws come with a premium on them too. But if you're looking for a good chainsaw at a good price, and you're not wanting to pay that professional price premium, because those chainsaws are worth the money, but this chainsaw here would be a good, not just entry-level chainsaw, but it would be a good intermediate chainsaw for you to have around for many years in your garage and working in your yard. So this chainsaw right here, I'm happy with. I'm looking forward to being able to get out in the yard and use it. Let me give you a real quick, I'm just learning how to do YouTube. So you guys bear with me. I'm gonna try to do more and more of these unboxings, and we're gonna do projects here, but we're calling this is the shop. And I have a 40 by 75 metal building, steel building that it is in the process of being turned into the shop. So I will enjoy you guys joining me in that journey, and I will share with you guys as we move forward with building the shop. But like I said, I'm new at YouTube, and I'm trying to do some things and learn how to set up my cameras and my sound and my lighting and do these things. So as I'm learning, just bear with me. But I guess what I'm supposed to do is say like and subscribe. So I guess that helps me out. I'm just wanting to be on YouTube and share my life with you guys and share y'all's life with myself. I want to contribute back to a product being YouTube that I've always enjoyed being a part of. I've always been a consumer of YouTube, and I'd like to give back to the community. So like and subscribe, and I guess that helps me with my channel. So until the next video, you guys be good. If you need to comment, leave some comments below, and I'll be quick to answer any questions that you might have. But I appreciate y'all being with me in my shop today, and we'll see you later.